What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today we are going to be talking about, well, it's kind of old for JP, but global, you are finally getting the Dokkan Battlefield mode, or I think they're calling like the virtual something or other. I don't know. I'll have the picture up on the screen, whatever it is. But nonetheless, I thought, because a lot of people were actually asking me, like any tips for taking it on, how exactly can I beat it, what should I be looking for, what should I not be bringing, all that kind of fun stuff. So without further ado, yes, it is going to be obviously JP gameplay, but 99.999% sure that it's going to be the exact same mode, so everything still applies the exact same way. Obviously, just everything will be in your native tongue if you happen to be playing the global of the game, or the global version of the game, and all that fun stuff. One thing to note is that by the time you are watching this, if it's just releasing now, I believe the mode launches at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for global at least. You guys should be in the middle of maintenance right about now or so, and then the mode will, be available for you guys, and then that's going to go from there, okay? Now, it is not, from what we've probably going to guess, it's not going to be like the little beta thing where you had that whole side-scrolling thing. You, took the characters and you dropped them up there, and they squint like that, and then they attacked, and then they had to destroy a barrier thing, and then you did the battle. That's not going to happen, okay? So I'm going to go through all the steps in terms of what to look for before you start the mode, the missions that you're going to be able to get every single time, how many of the, I'm going to call them battlefield crystals, essentially, for the Baba Shop, so you can go and buy units, and then what kind of units you should bring yourself, and then probably after I'm done that, I'll have a bit of gameplay showing off some of the boss battles that are particularly a little bit more challenging, and we'll go from there. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. So first off, let's go into the battlefield stage. Now, as you can see on JP, it's available for another 17 days. For the last 5 months or so, this mode has come back at the beginning of every month, and it basically just resets every month. Nothing new really changes about it. They did add one extra boss fight into it, but nonetheless, it's pretty much the same thing, okay? So let's go quickly into the stages, okay? So there are going to be 3 levels, and then each level will have a certain amount of enemies to face against, okay? So, for example, here, you will fight a Ginyu guy, and then you will fight a boss character. Now, this boss character, as of right now, out of the 4 to 5 times we've had it here on JP, it has been Grade 8 Vegeta, okay? Now, the one thing I should also mention real quick before we continue on is that every month that comes by when the, fresh start essentially occurs and the reset happens, basically all the enemies change types, but nothing else, right? They still, certain enemies can still only be sealed or stunned, or they can't be stunned or they can't be sealed. It's always the same character itself, okay? So Ginyu is always the first fight, then it's going to be Grade 8 Vegeta, okay? Second one is going to be Full Power Bojack and Android 13. And then the boss battle here is Super Saiyan Broly. Okay, so I believe it's the LR's TUR form, technically, if you're looking at the art of it. And then level 3 is going to be Goku Black, Zamasu, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Trunks was added about 2 rotations in afterwards, so about 2 months after this version of the Battlefield originally came out. And then the final battle is Goku Super Saiyan Blue, okay? So like I said before, that always happens no matter what, and that's just basically how it works, okay? Now, the way it also does work as well is that certain enemies can not be stunned, attack lowered, defense, all that stuff. And for the most part, and you'll be able to see that, right? When you click, and I'll show you here in a second when I get into it, but when you click on the enemy's, icon to start the battle, essentially, it's going to say, okay, pick your team, and by the way, this is what can and can't happen. It can be stunned, it can't be stunned, whatever the case may be, okay? The one that you want to be looking out for the most, though, is going to be Zamasu right here, okay? So Zamasu on level 3. He can be stunned, he cannot be sealed, but he heals. He heals all the time, okay? So after the first turn, every time that he comes back after that, he will heal himself unless you are lucky enough to stun him on that first turn, okay? Or you happen to stun him on some certain turn, and then he comes back, and it's like, oh, well, I see the healing icon, but, oh, too late. You're not getting healed, so... and then Goku Black will randomly seal one of your characters every turn, essentially. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen sometimes, and no matter what happens, they will not be able to perform a super attack on Goku Black, obviously, as the enemy, okay? So let's go into the rules real quick, some of the information, okay? A lot of this, again, this will be in English, so I'm not gonna, just kill a lot of time doing this. But basically, it's just simply, it takes you step by step, saying that in order for you to even attempt this mode in the first place, though, keep in mind you need to be level 150, okay? Gotta be level 150 to even access this mode, and then you simply click on it, and it allows you to do it. It does not use Act or Stamina, I guess, for global at all, so you don't have to worry about that, okay? Second is that you basically take 100 characters, and they have to be UR, okay? Now, one thing to note is that I could take, say, for example, a TUR for Final Form Cooler if I wanted to, and if I had an extra dupe of him laying around that I didn't need because I already had him rainbowed or something like that, you can actually take the SSR version of him and bring him along too, because we're going to get into the fact of how you're going to build your teams here in a second, but just know that if you want to, you can bring you can bring quote-unquote copies of cards themselves, because you actually can bring multiple copies of a card into it. So for example, if you want to bring like both the AGL Super Saiyan Blue Goku and the Kaioken Blue Goku, while they are technically the same name in the game, so usually in most battles you can't bring both of them together, in this mode you can actually. They won't link up, but you are able to bring them along if you want to, okay? Next part is simply telling you that after you beat the 4 characters or 3 characters or 2 characters on the side or the outer ring of the little battle stage, then the boss battle appears in the center. Nothing, crazy level there or anything like that, okay? Now, teams. This is going to be the big one, and again, I'll show you this myself when I actually go to face the first boss, and then obviously when I have extra gameplay at the end, okay? So, the way it works is that you will face, obviously, against one character, and the best way for you to beat this is to just bring type advantage, okay? Just simply bring mono teams, okay? And then what you're going to do is that the very first card that you pick will obviously be your leader, and the second card, it has to be the second card. Can't be third, can't be last, none of that stuff, okay? The second card that you pick becomes your sub-leader, okay? You do not bring friends into this mode, okay? Whatever sub-leader you pick, that leader ability is then thrown onto your team as well. So for example, like you see right here, they brought a SSJ3 Dokkan Awakened Broly, which is going to be 120% to extreme tech types, and then they brought the SSR version, but he's awakened to a UR. Remember, that's another thing also as well, you can't bring him in as an SSR. They need to be awakened to a UR, and then you're good to go, okay? Anyway, so then he'll give all extreme tech types Ki +2, HP attack and defense up 100%, as in the example right here. And you just simply select your team and make sure that, again, he is the second character, whoever your sub-leader is going to be. It doesn't matter who it is, depending on what team you're trying to make, just make sure that it is the second one, otherwise it could screw up a rotation, okay? Battle is exactly the same that you'd expect, nothing special there, and then basically it'll tell you if you want to, you can retire if you don't feel like you simply can't beat it, you ran out of cards or whatever like that, you can retire and you start way back at the beginning, essentially, okay? Okay, so with that being said, that last little stuff right there wasn't important. Missions. Missions are always the big one, right? We always want to know what kind of missions and goodies and prizes we are going to get, okay? So, first off, we have to simply enter the Dokkan battlefield and, beat a stage, essentially, okay? Then you get 3 weekly missions, essentially, okay? So, even though Battlefield itself resets at the end of the month, or technically at the beginning of the month, at the start, on Monday at least for JP, it could be maybe Tuesday or something like for Global. I'm going to guess Monday. But basically, at the beginning of every week after the first time it comes out, you get 3 of these weekly missions, essentially, okay? And then all they are doing, though, is simply clearing 1 stage, clearing 2 stages, and clearing 3 stages in total for that week. Doesn't matter if you were, you stopped doing the Battlefield the week before on, like, stage 2 or level 2 or something like that, and then you came back into it, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to continue on from where I am. That's totally fine. You can do that. You simply come in, you beat 3 stages, and you'll get 6,000 of these Battlefield crystals, okay? Anyway, so then the missions go as forward. Clear stage 1, clear stage 2, clear stage 3, clear stage 4 stages, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pretty standard stuff, okay? Then you get into the levels, okay? So clear level 1, so that's the mini bosses and the actual boss itself. So clear level 1 time. Clear level 2 times, that means going through the entire thing 1 time and then going back through again. Or if you beat level 1 completely and then you can't beat it after that, you can hit retire, go back in again, and you'd be able to do that, okay? Clear level 3 times, and again, you could do that as well. But then it kind of makes sense to go all the way through, because then you've got to do clear level 2 1 time, clear level 2 times, clear level 3 times, okay? And then clear level 3 1 time, 3 2 times, and 3 times, okay? 3s can't even speak right now. So anyway, so that's all the missions. These missions have never changed ever since this mode came back to us after the beta phase of this, all the way back during year 2, and then when this came back during year 3, this is how it was, okay? These missions have always been the same. They've never changed or anything like that. Now, one thing I will say is that the very first time you go through all of the levels and everything, again, we're going to go back to these levels here. The first time, okay, the first time you go through all of these, all these battles and everything, essentially, you will get a ton of the Battlefield crystals, okay? in total, give or take, because they do up it a little bit after the second or third time it comes back, you get around 120,000 of these battlefield crystals to then go into the Baba shop, and then you can shop for whatever you want, okay? So for example, if I go over here to the Baba shop, and we go over to the currency, and I go all the way over here, here they are, battlefield crystals, okay? So, I don't know if LR Ginyu will be available for you guys. I'm assuming he will be, but I don't expect him to be buffed. I could be wrong. He could. Again, you'll find out all this information tomorrow when all this updates and everything. Goku, or Ginyu and Goku's body, that LR, that's where you get the dupes of him, essentially. You got the one free one from completing all those rainbow stages when you got the Ginyu forced up to their rainbow and TUR levels. But other than that, the only way to get dupes of him is through here, and they cost 120,000 of these gems, okay? Metal Cooler is another LR that comes in this battle, or in this prize pool, essentially. He costs 150. I personally found that the very first time that this mode finally came back, and I went through every single stage the first time, I only got around 120,000, and I could not get Metal Cooler until the end of the month because of those weekly events that I told you about, or the weekly missions, essentially, okay? However, after the second or third time that it came back, I started noticing, I'm like, oh, I'm getting like 130, 140 now, and then obviously some leftover ones from the month before allowed me to then go ahead and get a Metal Cooler once per month, and I only need one more now in order to finally Dokkan Awaken him, or to get him up to Rainbow, essentially, okay? Some other cards in here are this Goku and this Vegeta. This Goku is actually not too bad. I do like him. He's actually a pretty good card. I've showcased him in both Super Battle Road and on EZA missions and events and everything like that, so he's pretty good. Unfortunately, Vegeta is an extreme physical type, and physical doesn't run well with sand slash over in a flash units, and I'm talking about extreme physical types. So if you wanted to bring, I guess, a normal physical team, that's totally fine, but in that terms, he doesn't fit well in an extreme team, okay? This is also where you buy the battlefield medals if you want to. Obviously, some have been available through the story missions, the normal quest missions in the game, but this is another way to get them if you want to Dokkan Awaken your LR Gohan, your LR Cell, which I think Global you're going to be getting soon. So if you haven't gotten them by now, though, then you'll get them pretty soon, obviously. Some of these Nimbus medals as well, some team cost, some stamina up, and then some character slots. If you want to open up those, you can right there. Obviously, some Elder Kais always come into effect. Never spend them on these three right here, this Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo. You can get them from Baba Shop, and obviously when you start the game up. So that's pretty cool right there. And then, obviously, medals, orbs, all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff to buy. Buy whatever you need to go through, okay? So let's actually get in here real quick. Let's go into the team selection process. Let's take a look at how it goes step by step, and let's go through it, okay? So I started over again, and it's going to tell you, as usual, every single time that you bring this up, it's going to say, hey, you can only bring 100 characters, and they need to be UR or up to LR, no SSRs, SR, or rares, or normals, or anything like that, okay? And again, it just simply tells you the rules. I went over again. Bring a leader, then you've got to select your sub-leader, then you pick the rest of your team, okay? Now, what it will do is it for the most part does a pretty accurate job of giving you 100 characters. Now, like I said before, though, in the beginning of this, you want to bring type advantage. Don't try to go category teams. I mean, I guess you technically can, but types will make it easier. Obviously, if you don't have a certain type and maybe completely maxed out, like say an extreme STR, you don't have enough for at least one team, or your team might not be that strong, then, you know, take a super STR over trying to bring someone else, but just keep in mind that you do have limited characters, okay? Anyway, but what you can do down here is it shows you that, oops, I did not want to go all the way to the bottom, but whatever, it is what it is. It shows you down here at the bottom where or how many of each type you have. So I have 20 AGL, 21 Tech, 20 Int, 19 Strength, and then 20 Physical, okay? So if for some reason you think that you want to change out a character, simply go in here, you know, only go to, say, Physical, for example, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what, I want to bring my Kaioken Goku. I don't really use the Gohan, so I could do this, and then switch them out, and then boom. As long as you have 100 characters, always take it type by type. Don't try to go through your entire list trying to pick out which team and everything like that. I did that personally myself when I first started trying this mode out. Don't do that. Just simply go by type. It's a lot easier, and if you have to, even go by Super or Extreme. That makes it even 10 times easier and everything like that, okay? So, again, that's how you're going to pick your team, okay? And then once you're ready, I'm just going to put this back so I can see real quick, and then just hit go. That's all you have to do. Now, there is a button, as you saw there, that was in blue, that in Japanese says omakase, which means leave it to me, which the game automatically does already, so I don't know why it's there. But if you, for some reason, accidentally hit the minus button at the top left corner of every character screen, where you have to, you know, then reselect everything, that will just select everything again for you, okay? So keep in mind. So, this is what the first battle stage area looks like. So we tap on Ginyu. He's an int type. It'll tell you right in here what the enemy can't not be affected by. So it cannot be lowered attacked or something like that. This guy, he just has reduced damage, and then you cannot stun him, okay? So I can seal him, but I can't stun him, okay? So I'm going to go in here, and then like I said before, so to go by type. So I know I need to bring a physical team, and I personally like to use my extreme teams on the earlier stages, because I have a feeling for the most part, most people, whether you are quote-unquote free-to-play, or you are a pay-to-play guy, or you're in the middle, or whatever the case may be, most people probably have a stronger super team, so use your weaker teams on the first stages, and then go to the next stage, okay? So anyway, so for example, I want to go extreme, so I'm going to pick these perfectly 7 out right here. So Cooler, Cell, and then I'm going to go Frieza, I'll bring Omega, Boo, and Ginyu, and then Shinsenron, okay? I'm going to bring them all, I'm going to go straight into battle. Again, because I picked Cell as the second character, he now becomes my sub-leader, so I'm getting 120% from the Cooler and 100% from the Cell, okay? So obviously we're going to go in here, we're going to go like this, because you do get a defensive boost. We'll give you that. Cell will give you all of these, so you can just get your level 2 off, and then we'll give that to the Boo. Ginyu's not too hard. Like I said before, you want to have about at least 7 of each type for extreme, and then 7 of each type for super, okay? So a total of about 14 to 15 of each type. So 15 tech, 15 agility, 15 STR, 15 physical, and then 15, what was it? Int. Int was the last one, okay? Obviously, like you though, you have to bring 100, so you're going to obviously bring more. 20 is about what you want to bring, give or take, if you happen to get unlucky on a certain stage. That's the case of what it's going to be, okay? Now, Ginyu, when we originally started this out a few months ago, I think he was physical, actually, funny enough. So I brought strength. I just can't remember, honestly. So, like, Vegeta here, he is agility now, so he can't be stunned, and he takes reduced damage, okay? So obviously I'd go back in here then, and I would go to tech, because again, he's agility. I would then just go Frieza, you, and then just bring all of you guys essentially. Go into it, and then I'll continue on the battle, okay? So after every single time you beat it, it's gonna go on. Once I beat this boss, I'm gonna show you guys how to back out and show that, hey, it doesn't matter if you do that or not. So we're gonna do that. I will give you that, I guess, and then I'll give the LRs all of these. As long as you got 4, that's all that matters. And then we'll do that right there. Okay. So we're going to take down 8 Vegeta real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Okay? So sorry about the video being really long, guys. I just wanted to do a really in-depth guide, essentially, to each, again, step-by-step, how to beat this, what kind of teams are the best to bring. Again, type teams, okay? I wouldn't be surprised based on World Tournament cards, Super Strike cards, in-game farmable cards. For the most part, if you farmed all of those guys, I'm looking at you, Jay Fanta, you probably can take this entire event on with, you know, a combination of in-game cards, and maybe you got lucky on some of the summable ones or anything like that. I'm sure Jay Fanta, especially you, man, you're going to try and get him up to, you're going to try and beat this entire thing with a free-to-play team, or I guess all free-to-play units, essentially. And I guess we'll give that to Tugildo there. We should be able to beat him down this pretty easily, so. But again, like I said before, just simply to make it easiest on yourselves, guys, go in with type advantage. Again, 15 to 20 of each type, and then go from there. But do keep in mind that that doesn't mean, though, that if you're going against, say for example, this 8 Vegeta is a super physical or something like that, okay? But you don't have the best extreme strength guy. You can still take super strength. I'm not saying you have to bring extreme strength first to beat them on. I'm just saying, if your team is particularly weaker in the extreme strength category area, then bring some supers along with them that are kind of side guys, help them beat it real quick, and then when you get into the higher stages, you've got your all-powerful super team still, because again, I'm taking wild guesses that most people have, again, most, not everyone, has a more powerful super, you know, list of characters than extreme units, okay? So again, that was my 3rd time beating it, so I got those medals right there. So now, 2 things right here that you can do, okay? So I was always going to say go to level 2 and everything like that. If I want to back out, I perfectly can. I can just back out of here. I can go into the main menu if I wanted to. I could go check my cards or whatever. I can do whatever I want, essentially. I go back in. I hit, I want to continue into the game mode. And I go, okay, am I going to be able to continue? Oh, would you look at that? Right at level 2, okay? Last thing but not least is that if you hit this, it's going to tell you essentially what stages you've beaten so far and what you haven't. And then this is, oh, the character types that you would have. Obviously, I used them all up. So these are the remaining characters that you have right there, okay? Now, if you want to retire, if I go into here and I want to retire, where did the retire button go? This is info. Oh, that's the info. Oh, I actually didn't know that. You can actually do that. Where's the retire button? Oh, I think the retire button is just simply out here. Yeah, so if I wanted to retire, I could hit this, hit retire, and it would take me all the way back to level 1, mini boss 1, essentially fighting Ginyu, okay? I thought maybe there's another way to also hit retire, but that's the only place you can hit retire, okay? So, with that being said, everyone, that is the best way to take on the Dokkan Battlefield event or virtual battle arena or whatever they're calling it on global. But essentially, like I said, this is going to be the best way for you to take it on. It's going to allow you to get some pretty good, rewards and everything. Gets you about 30 stones, give or take, each month when you take it on the very first time. And then, hey, you can get Metal Cooler, you can get LR Ginyu in Goku's body, you can get the LR Ginyu, just physical one, I'm assuming they will give it to Global. I don't see why they wouldn't. Just the Ginyu, essentially. He's not that, obviously, I would say if you want to go for him, go ahead, but my top pick in terms of the cards that you would go for, I would say the LR Cooler Army. And then the second one I would probably say is the LR Ginyu in Goku's body. However, I'm a little cautious on that because that friend leader is not really ran anymore, and I'm sure globally you're starting to see that more and more now. Again, physical Ginyu, you've got to get physical Ginyu. I honestly would not really go for because it does require 777 of the medals, those battlefield medals essentially, to awaken him. If I go to my extreme physical types and I find Ginyu, yeah, it says alright, it takes 70. Okay, sorry, I don't know where I got 777 from. Probably just because all free-to-play LRs at that time when this guy originally came out, that's what we had to do. So, but anyway, but nonetheless, 70 medals where each one costs about 5,000, I think. Maybe 7,000. How much was a medal? 3,000. Oh, wow, those have gone down, actually. So, you'd probably have to go a couple months in order to awaken him. But, I guess it's in the end for you. He's a decent support unit, but there are, I think, better units overall. So, but anyway, I would still say the LR Metal Cooler. Then I would probably go the LR Goku or Ginyu in Goku's body if you're truly still like running that team. And then honestly, I'd go for this Strength Goku or Orbs or something like that. That's honestly what I would do. Or the Kais. Go for the Elder Kais. That's my personal opinion for anyone who's about to ask me. So, anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new. And let me know if you think you're going to be able to take this on, how far you think you can get. And if you're watching this after the mode has released, how far have you gotten in this event? So, anyway, guys, like I said before, leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe. And until next time, everyone, I will see you all in the next one.